Hey guys, and welcome to my Christmas theme Oberland Station. This is by far the biggest settlement build I've made so far, with well over a month worth of hours sank into it. I spent a total of 24,000 caps on shipment materials to fund this project, and my game crashed a few times from the crazy amount of items. I did have to use the weapon store glitch to up the limit size like around 11 times, but hey, it all worked out in the end. I like to mess around with the vanilla workshop mechanics, and I play exclusively on survival mode, so getting creative like this with my level 167 survival character with no mods, creation club add-ons or console commands is a fun challenge for me. The save file is on my members only community post, that is if you have Fallout 4 on PC and want to see my build firsthand and support the channel at the same time. Now the most time consuming part of this build were the suspension bridges. They're made out of metal shelves, glitched in wires and conduits. Normally wall items like paintings, posters and shelves become bound to any wall structure that comes from the workshop. But if they're laid on a pre-existing structure like the Oberland Station Tower, then you can use the column glitch to select it and place it anywhere. I put each shelf individually, line them up straight, and set them up in sections until they're long enough to connect to the watchtowers. The watchtowers themselves are just made out of elevators from the Contraptions DLC. Unfortunately, the panels for all 4 elevators bugged out after I finished building everything around them, and the only way to fix them is to store them in the workshop and put them down again. And no way in hell am I gonna redo all this freaking work. So I just set up a ladder on a corner instead. Settlers can't use elevators anyway, and the ones assigned to the guard post up there have teleportation powers. I glitched in a bunch of wire for the rope railings around the towers, and it does take a while to set the wires individually in this way, but it goes well with the suspension bridges. Just my own way of adding some uniqueness to this build since I'm playing with the vanilla workshop. Oberland Station has a lot of hills and bumpy soil patches, so I use the warehouse concrete floors to even up the foundation. They make pretty good walkways and staircases. Jog made a whole guide on floor foundations and how to manipulate them if you guys want to check him out. I took some ideas off of my Hangman's Alley build to add crops and greenery around the walkways. Crops that have visible harvest yields can become selectable with the column glitch, so I was able to place a bunch of them nicely around the settlement with some potted plants. The Christmas trees are from the Vault 88 DLC, in case you guys are wondering. Without mods, the game is perpetually barren with no vegetation, so this is a nice way to bring some color into the settlement. I'm also something of a hoarding garbage man, and I like going around the Commonwealth grabbing non-workshop items from nearby locations for decorations. My character is maxed out on endurance and has a 40% speed boost from legendary armor pieces, so making these junk runs is not too bad. I put them all around my settlement and on the house interiors. I didn't go overly crazy with house decorations, just adding some simple furniture, workstations, and creative item placement here and there. I'd say about 90% of all the furniture in this settlement have rugs inside them, so that manually placed items won't fall off the counters and shelves when entering or exiting a loading zone in the area. I tested this several times and everything so far is holding nicely. The problem I was having is with the 20 settlers and their horrible pathing and bumping into things. For some reason they like to gather around the north side of Oberland Station, which are these houses here and the bar next to it. So after watching their walking habits and hangout places, I had to tweak some of my item placement or just remove things altogether. One of my favorite areas is this trading hub and the bar corner. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I used the cash registers from the Nuka World DLC along with some of the cardboard cutouts that I put on top of the stores and greenhouse. I dressed up my traders with the goofy Pack Raider outfits, which has that Christmassy look to it. Inside the bar, I added a soda fountain and a slot machine from the Vault 88 DLC. Settlers love hanging around the food and drink stores after working hours, so manually placed items were kept to a minimum. No matter what adjustments I made, they just kept bumping into stuff. So the little bit that's left has held on so far. Next to the trading stores, I added a small clinic. Settlers rarely come this way, so the decorations on the counters have been pretty stable. The rug glitch came in handy for combining furniture pieces to make things like the bed/medical table, and to get things nice and close to the walls. By pure luck, I came across Dr. Anderson during one of my junk runs and managed to recruit her into this settlement. These vendors aren't really that hard to recruit since the charisma needed isn't that high, but they're extremely buggy and never show up to the settlement you send them to. The house next to it is a small bachelor room with some taxidermy and leather skins. I glitched in a couple of beds and sleeping bags to make a whole king-size bed here. The backyard's got some leather skins and barrels from the Far Harbor DLC. And just behind this watchtower, I set up some public washrooms, and to be honest, I wasn't sure what to do in this corner, so I kept it pretty simple. These rolls of paper towel are just raw cloth material, which is pretty neat. I made a couple of more houses on this side of the settlement. I do see settlers walking around here and tending to the crops by the greenhouse, but I rarely see them inside the actual houses. They would probably come this way if I assigned some jobs or stations inside them, but overall, they just don't have the best pathing, which is unfortunate. For this house, I put a bathtub with a glitched in water pump and a conduit rod just so it looks like it's connected to a plumbing system behind the walls. And I used the column glitch to make some bunk beds. The last house has a similar style. The living room features a small kitchen and a desk space on the other side, with just one bedroom with just enough space for some beds. The backyard's got some Nuka World Brahmin feeders and hay, and some more glitched in water pumps and razor grain crops. Just in case I get a pesky Brahmin, at least they'll keep to this corner. And these little green patches of grass are just unassigned carrot crops. Across from this house, I set up some workstations and made this corner into the settlement's garbage dumpster. And last but not least, the Oberland Tower, which I turned into a security office, with a guard post overlooking the entrance. All in all, I'm extremely happy with the end product, and it was a fun project to tackle. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tour and didn't mind me rambling too much on the details. I'd love to read what you guys think in the comments. If you haven't, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, see you guys on the next one.